You might be organizing your home based on what looks good instead of what actually works for the way you live. And that's probably why no matter how often you tidy up, things keep falling apart again. Maybe you've bought all the bins, baskets, labels, cute containers, and it all looked great at first. But after a few days, the clutter creeps back. It's not because you're messy, it's because you're trying to follow a system that doesn't match your real habits. In today's video, I'm sharing 10 home organization tips that are simple to apply. And honestly, they've changed the way I live in my own space. These are things I've done in my own tiny apartment, and now my friends and even a couple neighbors are starting to do the same. Not because it's Pinterest perfect, but because it makes everyday life feel easier. So if you're craving that feeling of finally being able to relax at home, instead of always feeling like your house needs fixing, this is a great place to start. Before we dive in, leave a comment and tell me which area of your home stresses you out the most when it comes to organizing your kitchen, your closet. That one random drawer, I read every single one, and I'd love to create more content around what you actually need. Now, before we get into the actual tips, I want to give you something even more important, because the truth is, no organizing hack, no container, no closet makeover will ever stick if it's not built on the right foundation. There are 3 things I've learned that every organizing system has to get right. These are the principles that made my home finally feel manageable, not just for a weekend, but long term. First, it needs to look visually calm. Too many scattered items, even if they're clean, can still feel mentally overwhelming. We're not aiming for empty, we're aiming for less visual noise. Second, it has to be easy to access. If something's hard to reach, it won't get put back. Simple as that. If it takes 5 steps to put away a pair of scissors, they'll end up on the counter every time. And third, it needs to be easy to maintain, not just for you, but for everyone in your home. If your system only works when you remember everything or clean up after everyone, it's not going to last. The best systems are the ones that fit how your family already moves and lives, so things naturally end up where they belong. Let's start with one of the biggest shifts that helped me stop reorganizing the same spaces over and over again. You have to separate what you use all the time from the stuff you only need once in a while, and then place those things accordingly. That sounds obvious, but I promise most clutter comes from this being out of sync. Here's what I mean. If something is part of your daily routine, like the lotion you use every morning, your go-to water bottle, or the jacket you grab every time you leave the house, it should live in a place where you can reach it easily. No bending, no digging, no climbing a chair to get to it. It needs to be right there, visible and grabbable in one move. Because when something's hard to access, even just a little bit, your brain files it under "ugh later." And that's how things get left out, left behind, or duplicated because you forget you even had it. Now, for the things you rarely use, backup batteries, extra candles, seasonal supplies, they don't need prime real estate. Let those live in higher cabinets, back closets, under the bed, or even in bins in storage, out of the way but labeled so you're not digging later. This simple change, putting your most used items in your easiest to reach zones, saves you energy every single day. You'll notice how much smoother mornings feel when you're not constantly reaching or rummaging. And more than that, it helps the rest of the house stay in sync too. If your kids, your partner, or even guests can find and return things without asking you, that's when the system really starts to hold. Just pay attention to one thing today. Is there something in your home that's always left out on the table? The chair by the door? It's not that you don't want to put it away, it's just that the spot you've chosen is too inconvenient to keep up with every day. Try moving it somewhere easier, right at arm's height. One simple motion to grab it and one simple motion to put it back. Once you adjust just a few of those spots, things start to feel lighter. You don't have to remind yourself to clean up. You're not constantly retidying the same areas. The clutter fades and your mind gets a little more space too. Before we move on to the next tip, just a quick heads up, in the next video, we'll go over a handful of simple things that can make your home feel instantly lighter. Not more organizing, just fewer things you actually need. If that sounds like a breath of fresh air, hit subscribe. It'll be there when you're ready. All right, let's keep going. Tip number 2 is about setting up a drop zone, a simple place where your everyday things can go as soon as you get home. Picture this: you walk in the door with your hands full of keys, a tote bag, maybe a grocery bag or your jacket. And without even thinking, you set everything down. But where? For most of us, it's wherever there's space. The kitchen counter, the dining chair, the floor near the door. And little by little, that spot becomes a pile: the purse, the keys, the mail, the sunglasses, maybe a mask or water bottle. It's not that you're messy, it's just that there's no clear place for those things to go. That's why creating a drop zone matters. It gives all those daily items a designated spot, so they stop floating around the house. Start by paying attention to what you do naturally. Where do you usually put your bag when you come home? Where do your keys always end up? Instead of trying to change those habits, build your system around them. If your bag always lands on the chair near the kitchen, place a small basket or hook right there. If your keys keep getting lost under piles of mail, add a small bowl or tray in that exact spot. And make sure it's right where the habit already happens. Not across the room, not next to the perfect storage cabinet. Put the drop zone exactly where you already drop things. That's what makes it work. You don't need to buy anything fancy. Use what you have: a tray, a shallow box, a small dish, a hook. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to be obvious and easy to use. And the easier it is to use, the more likely it'll stay that way, even when you're tired, distracted, or rushing out the door. This kind of setup also helps everyone else in the house. If the system makes sense, other people will actually follow it without you needing to remind them. Start with one corner. Find the first place things tend to pile up and give it structure. You're not making more rules, you're just making it easier to keep things where they already land. This next tip is something I use all over my apartment, and honestly, it makes a bigger difference than I expected. You know, when you have a bunch of little things lying out, like on the kitchen counter, the bathroom sink, or your nightstand, individually they're fine, but all together they make the space feel messy even when everything's technically clean. That used to bother me a lot. I'd tidy and wipe everything down, but it still looked off. Then one day I put a few of those items on a small wooden tray I had just to clear the counter for a minute, and it was like magic. Suddenly the whole area looked more put together, and I didn't get rid of anything, I just grouped them. Now I do it everywhere. On my coffee table, I've got a little tray with the remote, a candle, and coasters. On my bathroom shelf, I use a simple cutting board to hold my skincare bottles. Even a hardcover book works. I've used one to group hand cream and lip balm on my nightstand. You're not changing what you own, you're just helping your brain see it as one thing instead of 5. And it's not just me. I've suggested this to friends, and once they try it, they're always surprised at how different it feels. One friend grouped her daily makeup on a small plate, and now her bathroom feels 10x calmer without doing anything else. So try this: pick one surface where stuff tends to pile up, like your dresser or kitchen corner. Grab any flat base, a tray, a board, a book, and place your everyday items on it. That's it. No decluttering, no spending, no stress. Just a small shift that makes your space feel easier to live in. Okay, this tip number 4 is simple: switch to velvet hangers. It's the easiest way I've found to keep my closet looking tidy without extra effort. A while ago, I got fed up with my closet always looking kind of uneven. Tops would slide off hangers, straps would tangle, nothing matched. And even when I did clean it up, it never stayed that way. So I switched all my hangers to velvet ones. Nothing fancy, just the slim non-slip kind you can find at any home store. And I'm telling you, it completely changed how my closet works. For one, nothing slips off anymore. Camisoles, wide neck sweaters, even those silky tops that used to fall onto the floor, they stay put. Which means I'm not constantly bending down to pick things up or re-hanging stuff every few days. Also, because the hangers are all the same shape and size, the clothes hang evenly. It actually gives you more space, and your eye isn't distracted by a bunch of mismatched plastic or wire hangers. It doesn't have to be expensive either. I didn't buy them all at once. I picked up a pack here and there whenever I ran errands. And honestly, it's one of the few organizing things I've done that has stayed organized without me having to redo it. A friend of mine tried it after constantly complaining that her closet felt chaotic. And she texted me a photo the next day, like, "Why did I wait so long to do this?" So if getting dressed feels more frustrating than it should, or if you're tired of your clothes looking crumpled or falling off switch to velvet hangers. It's not about making your closet look Pinterest perfect. It's about making it easier to grab what you need and just as easy to put things back. Less daily mess, less effort to keep things tidy, and one less part of your morning routine that makes you sigh. If you've got a cabinet or shelf that's deep and hard to reach into, this tip is going to change everything. Tip number 5 is about using a tiered spinner like a Lazy Susan, but with levels to make it way easier to grab what you need without tearing apart the whole shelf. I have one tiny, awkward cabinet in my apartment where I keep toiletries, first aid stuff, and travel-size items. It's deep dark and honestly kind of annoying. Every time I needed something like allergy meds or a nail clipper, I had to move 5 other things just to get to it. Then I bought a simple 2-tiered spinner online. Nothing fancy, just sturdy, compact, and easy to wipe clean. And now that cabinet works so much better. Everything is up off the base. I can spin the shelf, see what I need, and grab it, no more digging or knocking stuff over. Plus, because it's vertical, I'm using more of the space without it feeling crowded. I use one in my bathroom cabinet for skincare and medicine. Another friend of mine keeps hers on the kitchen counter for vitamins and supplements. It looks neat and makes things easy to find. You can use them anywhere that gets chaotic fast. Deep bathroom shelves, upper kitchen cabinets, under the sink storage, even on your vanity for makeup or perfume. And you don't need to buy a giant one, just something that fits your space and turns smoothly. The best part, since I added that spinner, I've stopped knocking things over. I don't forget what I own. And I'm way more likely to put things back because it only takes one simple move. If you've got a shelf where stuff gets lost in the back or you're tired of pulling everything out, just to find one item, try this. It's such a small fix, but it saves time and cuts down on frustration every single day. Tip number 6 is about dividing those drawers and cabinets even in a super basic way, so every item has its own little spot. I started doing this a while ago in my bathroom drawer, which used to be chaos. Hair ties, nail clippers, lip balm, tweezers, all thrown in together. I dig around every morning just to find what I needed, and it was annoying. So I grabbed a few small boxes I had lying around, an old candle box, a leftover gift box, even the bottom of a shoe box, and I used them to separate everything inside the drawer. One for daily makeup, one for hair stuff, one for medicine. Nothing fancy, but suddenly I could see what I had, and more importantly, things started going back to the right place on their own. Since then, I've done the same thing in my desk drawer, my kitchen junk drawer, and even under the sink. You don't need to buy expensive organizers. Use what you have: small containers, food packaging, anything with sides. The key is just giving your stuff clear zones. When you open the drawer and see where things belong, you're way less likely to shove stuff in randomly. And this helps with more than just tidiness, it saves time. No more searching for batteries or scissors or allergy meds when you're in a rush. You know exactly where they are. I've even helped a friend do this in her entryway drawer, the one that held keys, chargers, receipts, and a million random things. We added 3 little containers, that's it. Now she opens that drawer and actually finds what she's looking for. So pick one drawer that's been bothering you. Grab a few small boxes, sort the items by category just roughly, and give them a home. It's not about being perfect. It's about making your stuff easier to live with. Tip number 7 is simple when possible. Store small random items behind closed doors in cabinets, drawers, or lidded boxes. I used to keep a lot of the things out in the open because I thought it was more organized that way. Chargers, neatly rolled up boxes of batteries, pens, and cups, paper trays on the desk, all arranged and visible. It looked fine at first, but honestly, my brain never got a break. There was always something to look at, something that reminded me of a task I hadn't finished yet. Then I started putting those things away, not hiding them, just moving them into closed bins baskets with lids or drawers. Now, instead of seeing 5 categories of stuff every time I walk past my shelf, I see one clean surface, and my brain feels quieter. I still know where everything is. I still keep it organized, but I don't have to see it all the time. And that makes a big difference, especially on busy or tired days. One example, my tech drawer. It used to be a tangle of cords, adapters, headphones, USBs, all visible in open trays. Now I keep everything in small pouches inside a drawer, and I don't have to look at it unless I need something. Same with paperwork. I used to stack mail and documents neatly on the counter. Now I toss it into a lidded box, out of sight but still accessible. This isn't about hiding your life. It's about protecting your focus. We don't need to display everything we own to prove we're organized. Sometimes the most peaceful homes are the ones that look a little boring because all the busy stuff is tucked away. So if a surface in your home feels too noisy or cluttered, try this. Move a few of those small items into a cabinet, a basket with a lid, or a closed bin. Give your eyes and your mind some breathing room. Tip number 8 is about using those weird little corners or narrow gaps in your home for something specific. Not storage overload, just one clear purpose that makes life easier. For example, next to my closet, there's this strange little 6-inch space between the wall and the door frame. It's too narrow for a shelf, too tight for a box, so for the longest time I just ignored it. Then one day I added a small hook there and used it to hang my crossbody bags. Suddenly that space had a purpose, and my bags were no longer hanging over chairs or doorknobs. After that, I started noticing more of these underused spots. A tiny wall by the laundry area. Now it holds my broom and dustpan, the inside of a cabinet door. I added a pocket organizer for batteries and tape, the end of a hallway. I mounted 2 small hooks and now hang tote bags and hats. You don't need to add big furniture or fancy organizers. Sometimes all it takes is a single command hook or a narrow basket. The key is to assign one use to the space and keep it simple. When a weird corner becomes the bag wall or the cleaning tools, it stops being dead space and starts making your day smoother. This also helps prevent clutter from building up elsewhere. When your tote bag has a place, even a tiny one, you're less likely to toss it on the couch. So if you've got a narrow gap, an empty wall, or even the side of a cabinet you've never used, stop thinking of it as useless. Give it a job. Hang something, mount a hook, add a slim container, small space, small fix, big impact. Tip number 9 is all about making use of the space under the sink or behind cabinet doors, areas that usually turn into clutter zones or worse, just sit empty. In my case, the space under the kitchen sink used to be total chaos. Cleaning sprays, trash bags, sponges, random refill bottles all shoved in loosely. It looked messy, and honestly, I avoided opening it unless I had to. Then one weekend, I decided to fix it without buying anything fancy. I added a few adhesive hooks to the inside of the door, hung my rubber gloves, a small towel, and a duster there. I placed a shallow bin inside to hold spray bottles upright, and used a soft file box for trash bags and paper towels. That's it, but now I can find everything, nothing falls over. And I actually use what I own. It's the same idea behind bathroom cabinets or utility closets. You can use the inside of the door for extra toilet paper, magic erasers or sponges, cleaning cloths, even a small zip pouch with extra hair ties or band-aids. You don't need deep storage. Just think vertically. And look for space that's out of the way but easy to reach. One friend of mine used a hanging caddy on the inside of her bathroom cabinet to hold makeup remover wipes and backup toothbrushes, and now her counter is always clear. So if the space under your sink or behind a door feels wasted or messy, take 15 minutes to give it structure. Add a hook. Use a bin. Hang a slim organizer. You don't need to do much, just make sure things aren't rolling around loose. You'll be surprised how much fits in those awkward spots once they have a clear layout. We're ending with a simple one, but it might be the most important. Tip number 10 is to let go of things a little at a time, and in a way that feels easy, not overwhelming. Decluttering doesn't have to mean pulling everything out, dumping it all on the floor, and starting fresh. That's exhausting and honestly not realistic when you're already busy. What's worked better for me is doing a little bit every week. I set a timer for 15 minutes. That's it. One drawer, one shelf, one bag in the closet. I don't ask myself big dramatic questions like, do I love this or does it spark joy? Those are great in theory, but sometimes they just make me freeze. Instead, I ask something really simple. If this item got ruined today, if it broke or got stained or disappeared, would I actually be upset? If the answer is no, then I don't need to keep it. That question helps me get past the guilt or the just in case thinking. It makes the decision feel lighter, like I'm just being honest with myself, not harsh. I've done this with clothes, kitchen tools, old notebooks, even home decor. I kept out of obligation. And every time I felt a little more space open up, not just physically, but mentally too. A friend of mine now does this every Sunday while listening to a podcast. She picks one small area, her purse, a drawer, the fridge, and does a 15-minute reset. She says it's the only routine that's actually stuck for her because it doesn't feel like a project. So if you're feeling stuck with stuff, don't wait for a decluttering day. Just start small, one space once a week. Use the 5-second test. If this broke, would I care? That's all. Less pressure, more honesty, and a home that slowly starts to feel lighter. We've just seen 10 simple organizing tips, things you can actually use in a real home with a real schedule and real mess. No big makeover, no perfect system, just small changes that make your space easier to live in day by day. If even one of these tips felt doable to you, something you could try today, then you've already made progress. In the next video, we'll look at a few small shifts that help you clear space without turning your whole house upside down. No big clean-out days, no dragging everything into the hallway. Just simple changes that actually make a difference and feel doable even on your busiest weeks. So if that sounds helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this video gave you something useful, click like or share it with someone who's ready to make their home a little more manageable too. Before you go, let me know in the comments. Which of these 10 tips are you most likely to try this week? Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.